Hello everybody and welcome to Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds. My name is Jamieson. I'm the author of the book, Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds. I'm also the author of the best-selling book, The Perpetual Wealth System. Very happy that you guys stopped by today. Just want to give you a quick introduction to the book and to the website that you stumbled upon. Very excited to have you with us. What I want to teach to you today, very briefly, is what I call the 11 pillars of wealth. There's basically 11 things you can do with your finances, ladies and gentlemen, that will either attract wealth to you or repel it away from you. It's your choice. And this book is going to show you exactly what those 11 pillars are and how to get them to all work together to create much more wealth, much more rapidly than most of you are going to be able to do without this information. Okay? Number one of the 11 pillars, first of all, I break them down into two different sections. The first section I call the 7 gears of wealth. And I use gears for a very specific reason. My first book, The Perpetual Wealth System, and in fact, my company's logo, Perpetual Wealth Systems logo, is based on gears. And I used gears very specifically because gears, when they work together, can work for years at a time with very little outside interference, and they can really accomplish some great things. But when those gears become unbalanced or not greased properly, they can screw up everything, and they can make all the other gears not work optimally, and the whole apparatus, which in this case is you trying to create wealth, doesn't work. And so we want to create everything that's going to be in balance. And to do that, we start off with 7 gears. The first gear is income from your job or business. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care how good investments are that you make. If you don't have enough monthly income coming into your life to pay your bills, give you a lifestyle that you're looking for, then none of the rest really matters because you can't sleep at night. You're worried about paying the rent. One mentor of mine taught me many years ago that it's hard to worry about creating wealth when you can't get paying next month's rent off your mind. So we have strategies. They're going to show you how to get your income up no matter where you're starting from. I started with no money, no job, no credit, and I'm going to teach you strategies that you can be in that same situation and move forward. This book is for anybody, whether you're in that situation, whether or not you've got a steady job, you've got some money, you're looking to get ahead, that's great, or maybe you've already accumulated a lot of wealth, or you're a high income earner. You still need these 11 pillars of wealth. I don't care how good you've done, we can have you do better. Second gear is your investment gear. Now, most people, when they think investments, that's all they think of. Very simply, an investment is anything that you can put money in that can lose value and it can gain value. That's stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, all kinds of things. What we're going to share with you is how to use your investment gear with non-traditional investments and do it with very little risk. Right? Investments, if they can go up or down, that means they do have some inherent risk. However, you can mitigate that risk. You can dramatically reduce that risk by understanding what you're doing when you're putting money in a specific investment. We're going to help you dramatically with your investment gear to get it up and moving and really lessening chances you have of any loss and really getting it spinning properly. The third gear, guaranteed income gear. Now, how is that different from the first one, which is income from your job or business? I'm assuming one day you're going to want to cut back on your job or your business. And if you want to do that, you need to have income coming in from other sources to be able to pay your bills, live your lifestyle, and give you options. Most of you have very little set aside for any kind of guaranteed income gear, and you need to. And I'm going to give you very specific strategies on how to do that, and you'll be thrilled with being able to create a revenue stream for yourself that will happen month after month after month with no market risk and with very little of your involvement once it's set up. The next gear is cash or liquidity. This seems simple enough, but you'd be surprised how many people I meet when I'm dealing with clients from all over the country who tell me stories that they had to tap into their 401ks or their IRAs because they needed some money and they didn't have it on hand. And they didn't have it on hand because they were taught the old model of, hey, invest everything. Put everything you can into the market. The only problem with that is if you have that money in 401ks and IRAs and you need to get some real cash, now you need to pay tax and penalty, or if you borrow it out, you need to borrow it out underneath all their terms. It doesn't have to be that way, and we're going to show you where to put cash that actually gets a decent rate of interest, not sitting in the bank at 1/4% or 0.5% interest. So the book inside of Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds will break that down for you step by step. Next one, debt reduction and debt elimination. If you want to have a really safe, secure retirement, all the people that I've known in the past that really accomplished that, they had a couple things in common. They got there different ways, but they had two things in common. Number one, they had very little, if any, debt. Everything was paid for. Secondly, they had guaranteed income coming month after month after month. If you're drowning in debt, we have strategies inside of that book that'll help you reduce debt almost without you even knowing it and without too much effort on your part. Really some tremendous stuff that we've been able to share with people all over the country. It's built inside that book for you. We're also going to show you, if you do have debt, how to use it to actually grow wealth, not be silly with it. People get in trouble with debt because they buy silly things with it. If you can use debt very systematically and with very little risk, you can actually grow wealth by using it. We'll explain that inside of Wealth Without Stocks. How about the long-term care gear? This is the only gear, ladies and gentlemen, that if you don't do something about it, that you don't have a plan for it, that gear can actually screw up all your other 10 pillars of wealth. Because it's not living long in this country, it's living long and being ill. That's what's going to bleed everything out. And most people's plan for long-term care is they wish, they hope. That's not a plan. We have a plan, and it's not about buying a long-term care policy, insurance policy that's very expensive. We're going to show you what's called asset-based long-term care. And many of you are going to be so glad you found out about how that works, because you're going to be able to protect all your other money should you or your spouse ever need long-term care. All right? Last but not least in the 7 gears is legacy. What do you want to leave behind? Is it just money, or do you want to leave behind knowledge and a true base for your kids and grandkids to follow? Maybe you want to leave some resources behind for a foundation, for a charity. Maybe you want to start a foundation during your lifetime and being able to fund it with some of your money after you walk away, after you pass away. That can happen, but you need to have a plan for it. And we show you very systematic ways to be able to plan for your legacy, no matter at any age that you are now. On the other side of the coin, what I call the 4 wealth drains. These are things that very few people talk about. The 4 wealth drains, picture your money as water coming into a bucket. If that bucket has big holes in the bottom of it, I don't care how fast that water comes in, it's all going to bleed out the bottom, and you can't accumulate anything in the bucket. And that's what many of you are experiencing right now. We need to plug up those wealth drains, slow them down, and maybe eventually even stop them. First wealth drain, income taxes. Guys, the biggest expense most people have over their lifetime are income taxes, and yet it's a system that almost nobody understands. Certainly the average taxpayer doesn't understand it. So we're going to show you a way to legally, ethically reduce your income taxes year after year after year. And then take that money, fill in your 7 gears, and create wealth automatically and systematically. You're going to love the income tax chapter. Number 2, interest and fees paid to banks. One of the exercises I'm famous for, financial exercise, is showing people how much money they're paying out and don't even realize it. So if you haven't seen me do it before, or worse, if you've seen me do this and haven't taken the time to do it yourself, when you're done watching this quick video, add up all the payments you've paid to lending institutions over your lifetime on automobiles, cars, which are automobiles, cars, boats, real estate. As you can tell, I'm shooting this from the hip, but that's the way I like to talk, so sometimes I might mess up. But you get the point. Anything you've paid, boats, business equipment, office equipment, I want you to add all that stuff up. Because once you come up with that figure, I want you to double it. Why would you double it? Because by paying all that money out to lending institutions over your lifetime, you gave up control of that money and you turned it over to lending institutions. They got the growth on it. If you could have put it somewhere that just wouldn't have lost any value, and it would have just gained a reasonable interest rate, depending on your age, your money would have doubled 2, 3, sometimes 4 times depending on your age. So whatever your figure is, double it. Now whatever that figure is, compare it to the amount of money you have saved up for retirement, and then ask yourself a simple question. Which figure is bigger? Almost without fail, it's our money this much, money paid to banks this much. We'll show you how to stop that massive wealth drain. Market losses. What would your life be like if you'd have never lost any money in the market? If it would have never went down? Did you know that it's not preordained that you have to lose money in the market? Market losses are very important, especially depending on your age. See guys, it matters when you lose the money. Inside the book I talk about an average rate of return, why it's one of the biggest myths in finances. You can actually get a positive average rate of return and lose all your money. We'll illustrate that for you with 5th grade math. So it's not preordained that you lose money, and if you lose money in the markets when you're right before you're retiring or when you're in retirement, that's when you got to go get jobs to make up income. That's when all your plans fall apart. It is not preordained that you have to lose money in the stock market. We'll show you ways that that never has to happen to you again. Last but not least, something nobody talks about, how about depreciation? On everything we buy, but especially big items. Did you know the average American will spend more, which means lose more money, on automobiles than they're ever able to put away for retirement? It's not even close. So what if we could give you one simple strategy that I've been using for years, that other savvy people have been using for years, that actually make money on an automobile? You'll actually make money on it, not lose your shirt like everybody else does. We'll walk that for you step by step inside Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds, and we use 5th grade math. It's not complicated. All right? Last but not least, I want to bring a couple things to your attention before we stop the video. Number one, there's another presentation on this site. There's also all kinds of free videos. I want you to watch the presentation on this site. It's going to be much more in-depth about the Wealth Without Stocks lifestyle, the Wealth Without Stocks mentality. And by the way, I'm not advocating you don't own any stocks or mutual funds. What I am telling you is they don't have to be your only source. There's all kinds of other ways to create wealth that are totally separate from the stock market, but can also be used in conjunction with the stock market. So watch the presentations on here. There's no charge for them. It'll really get your mind thinking about what we've been taught all our lives. Secondly, there's a free chapter on here of the book. So download it, use it, pass it on to somebody. It'll give you a little taste. But guys, for the amount of money you're going to spend on the book, buy the book. But if you want to, certainly download a free chapter. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. If you like this little snippet here, you're going to love all the stuff we put out on social media. We're going to be shooting a lot more videos. We already have a lot of videos. So follow us and let us educate you. Let us bring what we've been working on for 25 years into your household to help you and your family. So follow us any place you can on social media. Buy the book. Okay, it's very critical. This book is really going to change your life. But let me tell you what's so powerful about the book. It's not just the information in the book, although I've never seen anything in one place that covers all these things and puts it all together so well. We have, right on here, you can see all the chapter titles to give you an idea of what's built into the book. But not only do we give you great information, in almost every chapter, we have step-by-step ways to set up what we talk about. So it's not just you get a lot of great information, close the book and think, wow, what do I do now? We'll actually help you set all this stuff up or direct you to professionals all over the country who can help you to actually do these things. So it's not just a book you're going to fold up and put on your bookshelf and say, yeah, that was pretty cool, that's some interesting information. I don't really know how to use any of it, so I don't know what really good it did me. We don't want that. We want you to use the material from the book, and when you'll find out in the book is we've got ways for you to reach out to us and other professionals all over the country that will actually help you to implement what you're learning inside that book. I want to thank you for stopping by today. Again, my name is John Jamieson. I'm the author of Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds. I'm also the author of the Perpetual Wealth System. I encourage you to buy the book today and reach out to us, and we look forward to working with you in the future to really help you grow and protect your wealth. Work on